Tenants rights in. Matt Jacobs out. Tenants rights in. Matt Jacobs out.
Everybody.
Tenants rights in. Matt Jacobs out. Tenants rights in. Matt Jacobs out. Tenants rights in. Matt Jacobs out. Tenants rights in. Matt Jacobs out.
We're just getting warmed up here before we go into the meeting. Meeting starts at 10.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When tenants' rights are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. When tenants' rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back. Matt Jacobs out.
Hey, Jacobs. Hey, Jacobs, you can't hide.
Let me turn it over.
Jacobs, you can hide. We can see your greedy side. Matt Jacobs,
You can't hide. We can see your greedy side.
How are you guys? Good. Oh, sure? So, in November, end of November last year, Matt Jacobs and his company he runs bought our building. Building I lived in for 18 years, and other tenants have lived there, I think 22 and 20 years.
State your name.
My name is Stephen Luftman.
All right.
And so he bought our building. And
Where's it located?
it's located in the Beverly Grove area of Los Angeles. And in January, he sent over his managing company, the guy who's head of his managing company who's running the building. And he said, Matt Jacobs, he does plan on tearing these buildings down. He wants to build something here. But don't worry, you have lots of time. He's not going to do anything for at least a year, probably longer. You have lots of time. Then February 8th, a month later, February 8th, we get served with the Ellis sack, our Ellis papers. That year plus turns into 4 months in one day. So what he plans to build on where our apartments are.
What is it?
He wants to build what are called small lot subdivisions. Basically, they are townhouses where there are now 9 affordable apartments. People have been living there up to over 20 years. There will now be, once he tears down our building, he's going to build these 4-story luxury townhouses that are going to sell north of $1.5 million each. That he calls attainable. He calls these places attainable. When asked, yeah, exactly. When asked, are you building affordable housing? He said, well, we don't like to call it affordable. We call it attainable.
Attainable if you got
if you have
mega bucks.
Mega bucks. It's not attainable to the people who are living there now, and they're not. So.
What are some of the ages of the people who are living there now?
There is Cindy, who's over 62. She's in her late 60s, I believe. I don't ask her age. There is a gentleman named Bill. Bill turned 62 after we got served. So he doesn't get the extra money that's afforded, the extra moving money that's afforded if he's over 62. He turned 62 in March. A month too late to get that extra money. And a month too late to get the extra time to find another place to live. His partner, Dan, I believe is around 59. There's a couple of other tenants who are in their late 50s. Many of us are in their mid-50s, including me. There was a couple, we call them kids, they were probably in their early 30s or late 20s. They're the newest tenants. They moved in only less than 3 years ago. So this, not only that, but this is in the middle of a historic district that's named in Survey LA, which is surveying all the buildings to find the historicness of every neighborhood in Los Angeles. And our district was named a historic district. It doesn't afford any protections, unfortunately, but it says this is a potential, should be a protected zone. This will rip the heart out of that protected, that historic district. Ooh. These buildings were built in the mid-30s as a wave of building in Los Angeles that was indicated the end of the Depression. That all of a sudden there was no buildings there before, and all of a sudden people weren't able to afford single-family homes, but they were able to afford nice apartments. And these are beautiful apartments. And so they're built in the late 30s. They're gorgeous apartments. They're what's called the garden courtyard apartments. So they all open up onto courtyard gardens, which gets people to actually meet one another. I actually know my neighbors because we all exit and enter through the garden. So you're every day you see your neighbors and you see how they're doing and how their kids are doing. Two of our neighbors just had children. One has a 2-year-old, and the other one has a 2-year-old and a newborn who was born in January of this year.
So you have your own community.
We have our own community that was ripped apart by Matthew Jacobs and his company.
And the reason that I'm here is, well, I'm also a renter who's under rent control, and if it wasn't protected under rent control, my wife and I would probably have to move out of San Francisco. And the other thing is, that's also a motivating factor, is a little over a year ago I went to a senior tenants meeting of people who are in their 70s and 80s, many of whom have lived in their building for many years. And you haven't really seen, a people or a group of people who are in a position where they're so afraid to lose their housing, who are at a point in their life where they can't start over again. They don't have the economic means. They're on fixed income. They don't have the economic means to move to another place and to afford to rent. If they should be evicted by a greedy landlord or a greedy developer. And those kind of people, if you look at it from the perspective, if you'd like it to happen to your mom or it happened to your grandmother, it's just not right. Those people do not have an alternative of any place else to live. They're on a fixed income. There's no going back to work to get more money. So where do those people go?
All right, we're going inside. We're going to speak on item 13 for public comment. So to be continued, so I don't run out of battery completely on my phone.
This is taking affordable housing that costs the state and Cal HFA nothing. This is affordable housing because it's affordable through local rent control laws, and using a loophole that was not designed for real estate speculators to kick everyone out of their home. Make no mistake about it, you'll hear from one of the tenants who's impacted. There's not a situation of a tenant who doesn't pay their rent, a tenant who's accused of anything. These are 17 units of affordable housing for low and moderate income people who are accused of doing absolutely nothing wrong.
I see my neighbors, Liam and Mandy, and their 2-year-old Charlie, my neighbors for 18 years, gone from the neighborhood they loved. Roberto and Rachel and their 2 kids, Ollie and Posey, gone. Meredith, Cindy, Margot, Bill, and Dan, all gone. These people were family to Karen and I. We did what good neighbors do. We looked out for one another. We took care of one another. Think about how this reflects upon the morals of this agency. His actions are not helping the lives of low to moderate income Californians. No, the lives your board chair is helping are the lives of the rich and the wealthy. Shouldn't the board chair of this agency be held to a higher standard than this? I call upon this board not just to remove Mr. Jacobs, that's obvious, but to truly live up to this agency's mission. Use your power and influence to stop the destruction of affordable housing. Thank you for your time.
I just wanted to bring this visual example of the letters to show you all, and they will be delivered to the governor later today.
Great. Thank you, Amy. Thank you for your comments.
Because I've been through this struggle. I know what happens to people who are going through this. You can't sleep at night. You wake up in the middle of the night, and that's it for your sleep for the day. You can't eat because your stomach's in a knot. You don't know where you're going to be, because I'm a senior. I've done my work. I'm on Social Security. I live on a very low, limited income, which I can afford because I have rent control. I fought my Ellis Act for 2 years. I won. My landlord appealed. It was thrown out. He might do this again. This is going on all over the state. I don't know if you're really aware of the effect it's having on human beings. There's a disease that people come and get. It's called the Ellis Act disease.
Matthew Jacobs, you should be ashamed of yourself. Sitting here as the chair of this agency, the board of this agency, you yourself doing an Ellis Act eviction while claiming to pretend to care about affordable housing for residents in this state. You could do the right thing. You can resign. But what you should also do is rescind the eviction. You shouldn't do the eviction at all.
Hello, my name is Dan Harper. I'm a organizing director with Tenants Together, but I'm also a tenant and a father. My son's 19 months old, and I live in San Francisco, live in a rent-controlled apartment, and every day my wife and I talk about, are we going to be able to afford to keep living here? As we know, our neighbors, a lot of our friends have been evicted over the last 5 years, and we have the chairman of the so-called affordable housing agency who's currently in the process. His whole business model of his side business is to flip houses, to evict people, throw people out on the street. So these people may be dying. A lot of people, like Patricia was saying earlier, if they're elderly and they get evicted, they die within months of these eviction notices. They're angry. We raised $500 in 3 hours. Why? Mr. Luffman up here, your tenant that you're evicting right now. And it took us 3 hours to raise $500 because people are so upset about this. If you all think that you can move the board meeting from Burbank up here to keep people and protesters away, you're absolutely kidding yourselves.
Ben Santiago.
Thank you. My name is Ben Marcel Santiago, short for Benito Santiago. I live in the Divorce Triangle in San Francisco, California, and I was issued the Ellis Act in 2013, December 13, 2013, and I've been fighting it, and I actually won. The fact that number one, I'm a senior, and I had a prolonged stay on that, as well as disabled, and I represent also those seniors and who are unable to speak for themselves. I also work as a special ed paraprofessional in San Francisco Unified School District for children with all disabilities, and I speak also for them who are unable to speak for themselves. I represent them. I took time off from school today just to be here to support Mr. Steve Luffman and to also to ask you to pay attention to what's happening to our society, what's happening to our community.
All right. Thank you for your comments. I think some of you may not have been in the room when the board chairman, during his report, he announced that he does not plan to seek reappointment when his term expires in September. So I thought the rest of the public should know that. Thank you.
So, did you expect to get part of what you wanted today?
I did not. It was very satisfying in a way, but our fight has just begun. It is not over by any means. We are going to stop the evictions.
Yay!
Stop the eviction.
Stop the eviction.
Can we do that?
Ooh, nice.
Thank you.
Stop the eviction. Flippers. Stop
The Ellis Act.
Flippers.
tenants' rights in.
We got the letters?
Ellis Act.
Yeah, they're right here.
Let's go. All right, let's go. Let's put them in the mailbox. All right, this mailroom goes direct to the governor.
We hear this is the governor's mailroom. You got yours?
Jim, what do you have?
All right.
What are those? Sammy, did you get
I
that?
got that, yeah.
This
Getting
is
the letters.
close to 1,000 letters of
Hey guys.
people all over the state that are demanding that Matt Jacobs step down as the chair of Cal HFA. So, looks like it worked. He says he's going to today. So,
Gonna resign.
All right. And what are we doing next?
Stop eviction.
Stop the Ellis Act. Stop the evictions.
Stop eviction. Stop
Affordable housing for all.
affordable housing now.
Support the people, not money.
Yeah. What do we want?
Stop
the
the
eviction.
evictions.
When do we want it?
Now.
Now.
What do we want?
What do we want?
Stop the eviction.
Stop the evictions.
When do we want it?
When-
Now.